Jairata Matovo Kunja Bihari Hey Radha Matovo Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janapalabha Girivaradari Gopi Janapalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jaya Radha Matova Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Motova Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janabalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajjanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajjanaranjana Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jaya Radha Matava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Matava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Paragraj Acharya, Ashtatala Satashishimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brindi Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Jayanitai Go Premanandi. All glories is some of devotees, all glories is some of devotees, all glories is some of devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 6, chapter entitled The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce, text number 12. Yatagnim edyashamritam cha goshu bhuvyanam ambadyamane cha vritim yogai manusha ariyanti hi tvam Guneshu Buddha Kavayo Vedanti Yatagnim Edya Shamritam Chagoshu Bhuvyanam Ambudyamane Chavritim Yogai Manusha Ariyanti hi Tvam Guneshu Buddha Kavayo Vedanti Yatagnim Edya Shamritam Chagoshu Bhuvyanam Ad Budyamane Chavritim Yogai Manusha Adiyanti Hitvam Guneshu Buddha Kavayo Vedanti. Anyone in this come on to try? Yata, as, Agnim, fire, Ethasi, inward, Amritam, milk, which is like nectar, Cha, and, Goshu, from cows, Bhuvi, on the ground, Anam, food grains, Ambu, water, Ujjamane, in enterprise, Cha, also, Vritim, livelihood, Yogai, by practice of bhakti yoga, Manushaha, human beings, Adiyanti, achieve. He, indeed. Tvam, you. Guneshu, in the material modes of nature. Puja, by intelligence. Kavaya, great personalities. Vedanti, say. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As one can derive fire from wood, milk from the milk bag of the cow, food, grains, and water from the land, and prosperity in one's livelihood from industrial enterprises, so by the practice of bhakti yoga, even within this world, one can achieve your favor or intelligently approach you. Those who are pious all affirm this. Translation responsibly. As one can derive fire from wood, milk from the milk bag of the cow, food, grains, and water from the land, and prosperity in one's livelihood from industrial enterprises. So by the practice of bhakti yoga, even within this material world, one can achieve your favor or intelligently approach you. Those who are pious all affirm this. Purport. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is nirguna, not to be found within this material world, the entire material world is pervaded by Him. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Mayam tatam idam sarvam, the material world is nothing but an expansion of the Lord's material energy, and the entire cosmic manifestation rests upon Him. Matstani sarvabhutani. Nonetheless, the Supreme Lord cannot be found here. Na chaham teshva vasthita. A devotee, however, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the practice of bhakti yoga. One ordinarily does not begin to practice bhakti yoga unless he has practice in his previous births. Moreover, one can begin bhakti yoga only by the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. The seed of devotional service is obtainable by the mercy of Guru, the spiritual master, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only by the practice of bhakti yoga can one achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and see Him face to face. Premanjanach chirita bhakti velochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokyanti. One cannot see the Lord by other means, such as karma, jnana, or yoga. Under the direction of the spiritual master, one must cultivate bhakti yoga, shravanam, kirtanam, vishnu smaranam, padasevanam. Then, even within this material world, although the Lord is not visible, a devotee can see Him. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Bhakcha mama bijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvataha. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakjaham ekaya graya. Thus, by devotional service, one can achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although He is not visible or understandable to materialistic persons. In this verse, the cultivation of bhakti yoga is compared to many material activities. By friction, one can get fire from wood. By digging the earth, one can get food, grains, and water. And by agitating the milk bag of the cow, one can get nectarian milk. Milk is compared to nectar, which one can drink to become immortal. Of course, simply drinking milk will not make one immortal, but it can increase the duration of one's life. In modern civilization, men do not think milk to be important, and therefore they do not live very long. Although in this age men can live up to 100 years, their duration of life is reduced because they do not drink large quantities of milk. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, instead of drinking milk, people prefer to slaughter the animal and eat its flesh. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in His instructions of Bhagavad Gita, advises Go Raksha, which means cow protection. The cows should be protected, milk should be drawn from the cows, and this milk should be prepared in various ways. One should take ample milk, and thus one can prolong one's life, develop his brain, execute devotional service, and ultimately attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is essential to get food, grains, and water by digging the earth, it is also essential to give protection to the cows and take nectarian milk from their milk bags. The people of this age are inclined toward industrial enterprises for comfortable living, but they refuse to endeavour to execute devotional service by which they can achieve the ultimate goal of life by returning home back to Godhead. Unfortunately, as it is said, Nate vidu swata gatim hi vishnum durashaya ye bahir arta manina. People without spiritual education do not know that the ultimate goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, forgetting this aim of life. They are working very hard in disappointment and frustration. Mokasha moka kamano, moka jnana vichetasaha. The so-called Vaishyas, the industrialists or businessmen, are involved in big industrial enterprises, but they are not interested in food, grains and milk. However, as indicated here, by digging for water, even in the desert, we can produce food grains. When we produce food grains and vegetables, we can give protection to the cows. While giving protection to the cows, we can draw from them abundant quantities of milk. And by getting enough milk and combining it with food grains and vegetables, we can prepare hundreds of nectarian foods. We can happily eat this food and thus avoid industrial enterprises and joblessness. Agriculture and cow protection are the way to become sinless and thus be attracted to devotional service. Those who are sinful cannot be attracted by devotional service, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:28. Ye sham twanta gatam papam jananam punya kamanam te dvandva moha niyamukta bhajante mam drida vrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. The majority of people in this age of Kali are sinful, short-living, unfortunate, and disturbed. Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda, Bhagya, Upadruta. For them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kolo, Nascheva, 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 Gatiya Anyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. How is it possible? How is it possible? Amagyantimidandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Mulitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this verse, it is being explained that a devotee knows how to extract devotional service in any situation in life. You have to become expert, daksha. And there's 26 qualities of the devotees. What are the 26 qualities of the devotee? Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Sachasara, Sama. Right? There are all these different qualities are given. And one of the qualities is daksha. Daksha means? Expert, very good. Yeah, expert. Devotee has to be expert. Devotee should know how to do everything. All the different services, devotees should be expert. Prabhupada said you should become expert in distributing books. You have to become expert in cooking. You have to become expert in deity worship. You have to become expert in building temples. We all have to become expert, daksha. You have to become expert in management, making sure people are not wasting time on the building site. This is all the expertise. Have to become expert in Shastra. Have to become expert in looking after Tulsi Devi. Have to become expert in dressing nicely, so that we present ourselves nicely in Krishna consciousness. Have to become expert in everything. So this devotee is called daksha. Daksha means expert. Devotee has to become expert. So there are 26 qualities of a devotee. So a devotee has to become expert in extracting an opportunity to serve Krishna in any situation. No matter where you are, you have to learn how to serve Krishna. Under any circumstance, in any situation, you have to become expert in finding a way to serve Krishna. Prabhupada was expert. Prabhupada would just meet someone and he would say to them, what is your expertise? What do you know how to do? And then Prabhupada would engage them. Right? And then he made so many people expert in devotional service. So there are 26 qualities of the devotee. And in these 26 qualities of the devotee, expertise is one of the qualities. Devotee has to become expert. Of all the qualities, which quality is the most important of the 26? It is called Krishnaika Sharana. Right? This one is the most important. It is called Srup Lakshana. There are Srup Lakshana and Tatashta Lakshana. Tatashta means marginal. Right? So Swarupa means essential. So one of the 26 qualities of the devotee is essential. And the other 25 are marginal. They come from that quality. Not all the devotees will have all of the 26 of the qualities fully manifest. You may have them partially manifest, but the one quality we have to all focus on, which is Krishna Eka Sharana. Krishna Eka Sharana. What does Krishna say at the end of Bhagavad Gita? Savadaman Parijaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. Surrender unto me alone. Eka. Eka means alone. Krishna says, surrender unto me alone. That is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. You know, Burujampa wrote that commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Surrender unto me. That's the essence of the whole Gita. If you understand that, you've understood Bhagavad Gita. That is the essence of it all. So Krishnaika Sharana, that's the essential quality of a devotee. He must be surrendered to Krishna fully. And the other qualities, they will manifest, but they won't fully manifest in every devotee in the same way. Just like one of the 26 qualities of a devotee is mridu. Mridu means? Yeah, soft, mild. Yeah, Prabhupada translates, soft or mild. Mridu. So not every devotee has that manifest to the same degree. You take the Pandava Bhimasen, right? He was not so much mild. Yudhishthira said, go and get Daksha. Go down to the river and bring, who was it? Sorry, Durvasa. Sorry, I said Daksha. Bring Durvasa. Said to Bhima, go down. So Bhima was not mild. You know, he came down with a club on his shoulder. You know how big was Bhima? 12 foot tall. You know how big that is? That's like 7 foot tall, the top of the door. That's like up to the archway. That's Bhima Saint. So imagine Bhima's walking down to the river with the club on. And he says, Devasa. And he had 60,000 followers. Hey, prasad. Right? And they're all like, oh, we can't eat, we're full. Hey, come now, everyone. Like that. So he's not mridu. That's not his main characteristic. But is he surrendered to Krishna? Fully. He's a pure devotee of Krishna. So the main quality a devotee has to focus on is Krishna Kesharana. Right? And then if you do that, all the other qualities will come. Kripalu. You will become compassionate, Kripalu. Akrita droha. You'll become humble. Satyasara. You'll become honest, truthful. Sama. You'll become equipoised. Like all these qualities will begin to manifest. But first you have to be surrendered to Krishna. Are you surrendered to Krishna? Are you fully surrendered? Why not? What are you doing with your life? What's the point? Why live if you're not fully surrendered to Krishna? Hands up, you're willing to die for Krishna. So you're fully surrendered. What are you saying? You have to be ready to fully surrender to Krishna at any time. That is bhakti yoga. So it says here the devotee is expert at taking Krishna from any circumstance. Just like you have to become expert at taking the food and the water from the earth. Just like Prabhupada was in Gujarat. Has anyone been to Gujarat? Surat, Prabhupada was there. So he's walking, a morning walk, in the fields. And Prabhupada looked in the fields. Prabhupada said, "What is this they are growing?" And the devotee said, "Prabhupada, that is tobacco." And Prabhupada said, Prabhupada knew everything, but he was just asking. And Prabhupada said, "Why are they growing tobacco?" And they said, "Prabhupada, they ship it away." And he said, "Why?" He said, "Because then they make it into cigarette, and then they make money, and then the money comes back." And Prabhupada said, "Why do they do that?" And then they said, "So that they can buy food." Prabhupada said, "Why don't they just grow food then?" There's no logic in modern society, you understand? Prabhupada's pointing this out. Simple living, higher thinking. There is no logic in modern society. That's why it's a mess. Why you grow tobacco when you can grow food? Grow sabji. Grow tobacco, send it away, get money, come back so you can buy food. That doesn't make sense. Right? Prabhupada said if you want to have a sinless life, you have to live in an agrarian lifestyle. You have to live on the land. And that's why it's interesting. When Prabhupada left Vrindavan in 1977 in August, we're in August now, right? When did Prabhupada disappear? November 14th, yeah. November 14th, 1977. Right? Prabhupada disappeared. Right? So if you see the footage in the final year, Prabhupada's, his body is weak. Right? He's quite emaciated. Right? So how could he even go to London? He flew to London from Delhi. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said to Prabhupada, he said, "Prabhupada, you're laying here in Vrindavan, but you are a preacher. You need to go out and preach, then your life, your energy will come back." And he got Prabhupada enthused, and Prabhupada said, "Yes, let's go." But the final trip in August, when they left, Brahmananda Prabhu had to carry Prabhupada to the car and onto the plane. Prabhupada couldn't even walk. That's how weak he was in August 1977. But even though he was so weak, they were just doing that one final trip, and they were only going to visit the farms, right? Bhaktivedanta Manor, right? And then he was going to Gita Nagari, New Vrindavan. He was only going to the farms because he said This is the part of my mission which is not yet complete, to establish these farms. And now in ISKCON, like 50 years later, right, we have many farms. How many farms do we have? I think it's like over 100 in ISKCON. But how many of them are self-sufficient or quite self-sufficient? Very few. Very few. We still haven't worked this part of the equation out. Because that's why Prabhupada wanted the farms, so we can live a sinless life, so we can sustain ourselves. Right? Just like if you go to Mayapur. Anyone here from Mayapur? From Rajpur, down at Jagannath's temple. You know. So if you go behind the temple, and the land is owned by ISKCON, right, I believe, right, all owned by ISKCON. And when you walk there, when you go to the hut of Kolavecha Shrita, it's like going into Satya Yuga. Everything is there. You can live there and everything is there you need. Rice, dal, sabji, right? Spice, cows are there, you can milk. Everything is there actually. It's like Satya Yuga. It's like this is actually how we're supposed to live. Just like I have one friend. His name is Kripa Siddhaprabhu. He is a devotee here in Melbourne. He lives down there, Bhakti Bhavan. You know him? Yeah, good. He's my good friend. You know him? Okay. So he told me, he said, where I live, my village, where I came from, everything is there. Fruits, sabji, rice, everything. We grow everything there in that village. And I said to him, so what are you doing here? Why are you living in Melbourne? He goes, oh, I make money, I send it back. I said, well, you just live there, you've got everything you need. This is Kali Yuga, it doesn't make sense. Seriously, it does not make sense. If you have everything, why do we work? So we get food. Why do we sit on the computer all day? So we can get food. Why don't you just go there, live there, and you can just eat food? It doesn't make sense, you understand? This is Kali Yuga. Oh, I have to make money to send back to my family. Why? They've already got food. There's food everywhere. There's papaya on the tree, there's banana on the tree, there's coconut there. What do you need? This is Kali Yuga. It's all... so Prabhupada actually wanted that we live simply again. And Prabhupada, you know, when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru Maharaj, who was Prabhupada following? Gandhi. Very good. So one time Prabhupada was at Juhu and he's walking on the beach. He just had one devotee with him. I can't remember which disciple. It was just one devotee that was with him. And they walked down the beach, and at the end of the beach there was a statue of Gandhi. And Prabhupada, he looked at Gandhi and he said, I like Gandhi. Prabhupada said that. He said, I liked Gandhi. Yeah, because Prabhupada was actually his follower. You know, when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and his Gurudev said, first time he met him, he said, you go to the West and you preach the message of Chaitanya Dev, Lord Chaitanya. And then Prabhupada said, how can we do it? India is not independent. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we cannot wait for these material considerations. Krishna consciousness is so important, we need to do it immediately. So he defeated Prabhupada. But even though Prabhupada began to follow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was still moved by much of what Gandhi was teaching, because Gandhi was teaching natural living, higher thinking. And Prabhupada said, I like Gandhi. Because that was the philosophy, right? Just live simply, make your own cloth, right? Grow your own food, right? Crush your own oils so you can burn them for light in the evening, you know, so then we don't have to worry about electricity. You know, these are all the things we have to do down there at the farm, you know. First sabji, then grain, then we need oil, and then cotton. It's a lot of work. So we have to do these things. That's what Prabhupada envisioned. So then Prabhupada came back to the temple, and that evening he had a darshan, and then someone said something about Gandhi. And then Prabhupada said, Gandhi is a rascal. And then he looked at the devotee and he smiled. He said, Or that. But in his preaching, he would say these things. Sometimes you see, he'd say, Gandhi's a rascal, because, there were certain things about Gandhi's philosophy which were not correct. So Prabhupada would attack that, but actually he appreciated Gandhi's his contribution, natural living, higher thinking. So here, it is being explained. We have to become expert at taking the food and water from the earth. And actually, we were explaining this the other day at the Sunday feast at the farm. What is the biggest problem we have on the earth right now? Right at this moment, what's the biggest problem we have? I mean, there's a lot of problems. Kale dosha nite rajan. Kali Yuga is full of, what's the biggest problem we have right now? Yeah, climate change, and even if we go a little bit more specific, it's soil degradation. Right? That's the biggest problem we have on the earth right now. Right? The soil is losing all of its nutrients. And what happens when the soil loses its nutrients? You can't grow food. And what happens when you can't grow food? You've got nothing to eat. Prabhupada said this years ago. You can't live on nuts and bolts. Right? We have all these factories producing all these useless items. Prabhupada said, how many types of scissors do you need? Right? We just need one type of scissors, but we have so many factories making all different types of scissors. We just need one factory making one scissors, bus, that's it. Or when I went to India the first time in 1991, then there was only one car in India, basically, right? Ambassador, that was it. Now we have so many different cars. Is it better? Right? Now we have bigger traffic jams. Is it better? The Ambassador's a good car. Right? It goes slow, right? Doesn't really matter if you put a dent in it. It still drives nicely. That was good. It was good. But now we think we're advancing. We're actually devolving as a society. So Prabhupada said you can't eat nuts and bolts. So this is what will happen. Society will see in the future. Even I think from what I'm understanding, intelligent people I'm listening to, not just inside our movement but outside. People are saying in 10 years' time, which is not far away, there could be civil war in major countries in the West. And what will be the main problem? Food and water, because that's what you need in life. And that will, because the soil is becoming degraded, it'll be hard to grow the food, there'll be shortage, and then people who are even in the same country will fight each other just for food. You saw what happened in COVID. People were fighting in the supermarkets for a packet of pasta. Did you see it? Right? I didn't see it, but I saw it on internet. People were fighting each other. Last packet of pasta. You watch what happens. If the food begins to run out, you watch what happens. People will not be friendly. We're very fortunate in Australia, very fortunate, because this is so much food is here in Australia. And after COVID, the government did a contingency plan, what to do if we have like another COVID or another event where we have problems, how to sustain. Australia is very well set up, but the problem is, because we're so well set up, other countries eventually will come and attack us because we have a lot of food and a lot of water. We're the second biggest producer of rice in the world. We have a lot of food, no problem. We only have 25 million people, so there's too much to eat. That's not a problem. But watch what happens. When Kali Yuga progresses, you'll see Australia will be attacked in the future. So we're giving you lots of good news this morning to make you all happy. So why are these things being spoken? Because Bhagavatam says this will happen in Kali Yuga. Everything will become problematic. That's the nature of the Kali Yuga. You'll see as time goes by, there'll be more and more quarrel. We're seeing it. There are a lot of quarrel, but you'll see now it will increase. We'll see it in the next 10 years. So that's why Prabhupada said we need these farming communities. I was actually thinking about that yesterday while I was driving here from our farm. Our farm is not set up. Right? What if there is a big calamity tomorrow and devotees all run to the farm? There's nothing to eat. Right? We have some half-grown spinach. Right? Seriously, like we're not set up. We need to be set up. That's why Prabhupada wanted the farms. So devotees could be fed. No? It's something we need to consider, to think about. Because going into the future, this will be the situation. So the analogy is being given here that the devotee is expert because the devotee knows how to extract an opportunity to serve Krishna out of any circumstance. Just like someone has to be expert to take grains and water from the earth, one has to be expert to take milk from a cow, right? Like we have some cows at our farm. Hands up if you know how to milk a cow. 1, 2. Okay, 2 out of what, 20, right? So these devotees are very valuable because we don't know what to do. Like if we really do need to live in the future, and we need to, you have to know how to milk a cow. Otherwise, how will you get milk? How will you make paneer, dahi, ghee, all these things? Hands up, you know how to make ghee, dahi, paneer, from scratch. Yeah, not many people know these things. So we need to learn. This is the education. Simple living, high thinking. We have to learn these things, these arts. Not that we just come to the farm and we bring the food from outside, but we have to learn how to make it on the farm and how to make these things naturally like that. You guys can develop these things. Because we need to learn all of these systems. So devotee is expert, right? As it says here. He will find an opportunity to serve Krishna under any circumstance. So by the practice of bhakti yoga, even within this material world, you can achieve your favor or intelligently approach you. That is the potency of the bhakti yoga process. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, bhakti yoga is so powerful as a process. It's much more powerful than any other process. It's just like when Arjuna shoots his arrow. What was Arjuna's bow? Gandiva, right? So he would go, shoot the arrow. When he shot the arrow could travel for 1 mile straight before it lost velocity and began to... That's incredible. Like how powerful does something have to be, even in modern warfare? Like, you know, they probably have tanks and missiles that can go that fast directly before they begin to drop. You know, that was the strength of Arjuna's bow. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, bhakti yoga is so powerful, even all the material desires, you know, do you have material desires in your heart? Yeah, okay, this is not good. So if you have material desires, all your material desires, all of your anarthas, all of the ignorance, bhakti yoga is so powerful, it can just pierce straight through everything. That's how powerful bhakti yoga is. It can completely purify you. By practicing bhakti yoga, you can go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Hands up, you want to go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? You don't sound very sure. But if you want to go back in this lifetime, you can. That's how powerful this process is. And Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said he expects all of his followers to go back in this lifetime. And actually, Prabhupada said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if you assist in building the TOVP, you will go back. Bhaktivinoda Thakur will come and get you and take you back in this lifetime. That's why every year when I go, I try to give some donation. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. Not for that reason, because I just want the temple to... It's such an important project in ISKCON. I want to be a part of that. And if Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very kind and would take us back to Godhead, then that would be wonderful. You know. But Prabhupada said, if you just follow 4 regulative principles and chant minimum 16 rounds a day, he will take you back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime. That's how powerful this process is. That's an incredible statement, actually. Right? It can take you back to the spiritual world. Yesterday I was driving here from Hare Krishna Valley, and then I was listening to Jamuna Devi, Prabhupada's great disciple, speak. And I could tell, just by, in my opinion, just by listening to her, she was already liberated. She had already transcended this world. And Prabhupada will come and he will take all of us back to Godhead. If we fully give our lives to this Hare Krishna movement, spreading the Sankirtan movement. One time, I was listening to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj. I was listening to him speak, and I've been listening to him for many years, and the one story he tells more than any other story in his lectures. He said one time he was on the balcony in Juhu with Prabhupada. And he was saying to Prabhupada, oh, Prabhupada is so difficult, because they were fighting for this Juhu land and they had to go to the court and they're doing all these things. And he was complaining to Prabhupada, Prabhupada's so difficult, and you know, I can quote to you all the bylaws of the municipality of Mumbai, but I can't quote the verses from the Bhagavad Gita. I'm a sannyasi, but I spend my whole day in the office of the lawyer trying to fight for this land. I'd hardly even have time to read your books. And he's complaining like this. And so he was going. And then after a few, Prabhupada said, for so many lifetimes, you have served so many other masters. This one lifetime, you just served the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And whatever you are lacking at the time of death, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will cover that and he will take you back home, back to Godhead. So it's very powerful. He tells that story more than any other story. Right? Just give one lifetime to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will take you back home, back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime. It's an amazing. So we're very fortunate in the Hare Krishna movement, because if we just give one lifetime to serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can go back home, back to Godhead. And in the meantime, the prasadam is very good. So you have a good life. Your life is good, and you can also go back to Krishna. It's a good life, actually. So we'll stop here. And we'll see if there's any questions or comments in this material world of birth and death. You got one? Or? Okay, we'll go on then.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you were talking about surrender. So I'd like to ask, will Krishna only save the souls who are 100% surrendered unto him? Because we know the degree up to where we surrender to Krishna. Krishna takes charge of that degree. And also, would it be possible for us to 100% surrender unto Lord Krishna in this one lifetime?
That's up to you. If you want 100%, that's up to you. 100% means you give everything. From when you wake up until when you go to bed, you just serve Krishna. Some days are like that. Like some days are like that. We just wake up in the morning. Like I'm exhausted today. I'm exhausted because on the weekend we had a retreat at our Hare Krishna Valley, and we had our open day. And my wife and I, we started about 7 o'clock in the morning doing service, and we didn't finish till probably about 5 o'clock at night. So that was like, and that was non-stop. So what's that, like 12 hours or something? How much is that? 10 hours. Yeah, like non-stop, just like serving. And at the end I was exhausted. You know, and then yesterday we had to clean up and do things. So it's like, sometimes it's like that in devotional service. It's practically it's like 100% giving to Krishna. So we try our best. We're not perfect. Our service is not perfect. We don't always think of Krishna, but we do our best. Is it okay? Prabhupada actually said just 70% is enough. Even if you just give 70% degree, that will take you back to Godhead. Is it okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Transcendental microphone key. Jai.
Hare Krishna Keshava Prabhu. It's always so nice to hear from you, and you always give us a lot of hope that we can progress in spiritual life. I've been hearing your classes from a long time, so thanks for that. It gives us a lot of encouragement as well. A comment, we were talking about the COVID time, how people were struggling and fighting for a packet of pasta and all. And we see in the villages, I remember in Mayapur, we went to distribute some khichdi in the villages. And that was a total lockdown time. We were thinking like people will be really happy and all. But when we went to the villages, deep inside the villages, we can see that they are nicely growing their food and they're not affected much by the COVID time. So it was very surprising. But in Mayapur, everybody was very worried, and even some grocery supply was difficult. But in villages, they're happily living. I didn't see much difference pre-COVID or post-COVID for them. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very nice point to, grow the grains.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice realization. Yeah, because this is what Prabhupada constantly said, right? We need to set up the farm communities, the villages. And he actually said, when we said, like, the water farm, in near Mumbai and the eco village, they're doing it. Prabhupada said, start the farms, like in Hyderabad, when he set up the farm there. Start the farm, and he said, just get the local villagers to come and do all the farming and look after the cows, and that's what they're doing. Because most devotees come from the city, brahmacharis and so, they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So he said, you just get them, right? And then employ them, give them some, maintenance and everything, and, let their kids go to the school and do all these things, look after them, and then they'll take care of everything. And then we'll all be self-sustaining. So yeah, that's a powerful point that you're making. The villages are the answer. The villages are the answer. And you'll see, Prabhupada actually said, there's one comment I was reading recently, Prabhupada said, when the world has problems, which will come, he said millions of people will come to our farms, which means everyone's going to go back to the land. Because they go, oh, there's nothing to eat. That will happen. Even in Cuba, many years ago, there was a shortage of oil. They cut off the oil supply. So because the oil supply was cut off, then people could not run things. And the food was not being transported because the oil had been cut off. So everyone went out and they just started, wherever there was a bit of soil, started growing. And because Cuba is hot, everything grew quickly. And then they had a lot of food. So this will happen again, when the problem comes. And you actually see here, like Albert Park, for example, if you see along the street, there's olive trees. And when the olives come, the old Greek people, they come out and they pick them. And it's now illegal in different places in Australia and other places to grow fruit trees on the nature strips. But the intelligent people, and if you look all around here, you see in the back of most of the backyards, lemon trees and fruit trees. There's all different trees because we're meant to grow our food here. And all these old people, they knew these things. So yeah, this village system is the actual system. Maya Podama Ki. Jayo.
Hare Krishna. In the purport, Prabhupada emphasizes about cow protection and how we should have milk as our regular diet, and how milk is really beneficial for our health, increase our duration of life, helps us to develop finer brain tissues. I'm just curious with the commercial milk that we mostly take in now, how potent is it now? Does it still have any of its potency? Because obviously the cows that are being milked from, they're going through so much torture, slaughter. And secondly, I heard the devotee said that even when we offer the milk from these commercial milk, the cows are not necessarily getting the benefit from being offered.
They're what?
The cows are not getting the spiritual benefit of the milk that's being offered from these dairy farms. I'm just curious if that's true or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so is the milk beneficial? We should go for the highest quality milk that we can possibly get. So the highest quality is obviously Hare Krishna Valley, but there's not much, because only a few cows are milking. So then the best milk available at this point in time in Victoria is Mother Cow Dairy, right? Which Gaurav Prabhu and the other devotees have opened. So devotees should be drinking that milk. If they want to drink milk, they should drink that milk. And I've heard devotees say, oh, it's too expensive. That's not the point. It means you're missing the whole point. The reason the commercial milk is so cheap is because it's commercial. It's done on such a large scale that they're keeping it cheap. But that's not actually the price of the milk. So devotees should support that project And they should take, because that milk is the best milk. It's ahimsa milk. And then from there, then you'll have other milks, which are, some of the milks are very low quality, and there are some good quality milks also. So you have to see. But the best, obviously, is the mother cow dairy milk. That's the milk that would do it. And what was the second part of the question? It was,
I heard someone calling that.
does the cow get the benefit? Yes, yes, because if you offer the milk, the cow gave the milk, and then it was offered to Krishna, so that's seva. The cow just did seva. Prabhupada once said that if you buy a car, a Ford car, everyone in the Ford motor factory who helped to make that car, if a devotee drives that Ford car, everyone in the factory gets benefit because the devotee is driving the car for Krishna's service, right? That's called a gyata sukriti. So it means that every cow and everyone connected, if the milk is offered to Krishna, they get benefit. Every piece of bhoga, rice, dal, sabji that we buy, and if we offer it to Krishna, they all get benefit. Everyone who is connected to that process. Oh, yeah. Is it not working?
No, even the people who are producing these milks, not from these dairy farms, do they get benefit if we?
Everyone.
Yeah.
I just said that. Why are you going to differentiate who gets benefit and who doesn't? Everyone gets benefit. If it's offered to Krishna, everyone gets benefit. Yeah. Prabhupada said everyone in the Ford factory, so that means everyone. You can't say, well, not the guy who put the tyres on. He doesn't get it. Doesn't make sense. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gauranga. This needs to be turned off. This. So what do we owe this pleasure?
From here to Vyasa Puja. Vedic Express
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
Somewhere in the northern suburb.
That's in Epic, yeah.
Epic.
Epic, yeah. Asitara the Prabhu is also coming.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. He first said no because mother is not well, but he decided to come for a week. He's coming, quite a few devotees has come.
Internationally?
Internationally.
Really? Wow.
Outside of Melbourne, it's 150 devotees outside of Melbourne.
Coming?
Yeah. For the festival.
Wow. Amazing.
So I thought this is a good time because now Narsima wing is open. Now it's a little bit.
So then, you're just coming for a week?
I'll be until Janmashtami. Until Janmashtami.
Oh, good.
I'll do Janmashtami.
Where are you staying?
I'm staying in Rihad Prabhu's house.
Rehab bar.
Yeah. They are all allocated everywhere. A lot of devotees coming. So
A lot of devotees.
yeah, that's right.
How big will the program be?
How? Sorry?
The Cancer Puja. What will be the size of the program?
Expecting around say 800 to 900 devotees.
Wow.
That's what their expectation is. I mean, that's being on Saturday. That maybe they may reach. That's the thing. I'm so happy to see everybody again. It's been 7 years I've been here.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Oh, you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know you were coming. No, I just saw you there. And when I first saw you, I thought, this guy looks like right above. And then I thought, it's right above. I thought maybe someone got the audio. Good to see you.
I'm so happy I'm to see all the devotees.
How's it going there?
Going okay. Now we are completing the Narsima wing. We already opened in March. There are some works pending, that's going on currently. And Radhanath Maharaj Yatra from 1st to 6th will be inside the TOP.
The actual being inside.
The lectures, prasadam, everything.
Like down where the shop is or something?
Inside the TOP we're just,
Oh, the actual.
yeah, the main altar.
On the main altar.
I mean to say
Or
it's
stop
not,
work for.
we'll stop.
Acha.
Because Narsima wing is complete.
Yeah.
So that's open for everybody to visit. And in the main altar, we have they're going to set up all the decorations and all, pandal and all. Maharaj is going to sit on the altar, not exactly on the altar, but outside of it. So that's where the asana would be.
Wow.
And 10,000 devotees are expected.
Wow.
We always say it's designed for 10,000. No, it's a test.
Yeah.
How everybody can hear and see. That's the thing. So they're making arrangements, all the prasadam at the bottom, utility floor, the ground floor,
Like where the shop is? Or
not the shop, under in the TOP itself.
underneath?
Underneath.
Yeah, like one hole in the
One,
shop.
yeah, one level.
There's a hole there or something?
It's not a hall, but it's an open ground. So they're going to cook there, and devotees will prasadam there as well. So within the TOP, everything. Maharaj lecture, prasadam, cooking.
Interesting taste.
Yeah. But it's really good probably because more than 10,000 are expected.
Yeah, right.
10,000 will be expected.
Vandeham Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,